Richie sends out his star Pokemon, Pikachu or Zippy.
Hey, his Pikachu got a little haircut. Okay, Pikachu, I see you.
Angel Knot.
Salutations to the nations. What's good, Angel Knots? It's your boy Young Sinai. Yo, so today we are going to be watching a video by Thunderzolt, and it is called the complete story of Ash's Charizard. Now, let me know in the comments, who did you pick as your starter Pokemon? I'm only talking about Gen 1, okay? I'm only talking about Gen 1. Your boy, I chose Charmander. You feel me? Yo, today I asked my wife, I said, yo, question, Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue? She said Pokemon Red. I was like, oh, snap. I married a Pokemon Red person. She had no idea what that question meant. I grew up on Pokemon Blue. You feel me? I had explained to her the red and blue cartridges thing, but, you know, she goes along with it. When I was a kid, me and my friends, we didn't say Charizard. We said Charizard. That's wrong. But, all right, let's go ahead. Enough with me yapping. Let's go ahead and get to this video.
Single worst moment in a Pokemon's career. How a Pokemon who was at the height of the league during their prime years fumbled and threw it all away. This is the story on how Ash's Charizard, who was once an all-star pick, rose, fell, and maybe rose again. But to understand where this all started, we have to take it back to season 1 of the Pokemon anime. This season takes place in the Kanto region, where Ash is our main character on his very first Pokemon journey, and for lack of a better words, he's dumb. He's an inexperienced new 10-year-old trainer that doesn't know how to raise Pokemon. But the thing about Ash is that he's a kid with a heart, and when he sees a dying Pokemon out in the rain, he's gonna go save him. And that—
Yo, low-key, Charmander's story is like one of the most touching cartoon episodes ever. Like, tell me if I'm lying in the comments, man. That's like so heartfelt.
Exactly what happened to Charmander. Early on Ash's journey, he meets Charmander on a rock. He looks pretty sick and sad, but he won't move at all. Ash tries to catch this Charmander and bring him to a Pokemon Center since he's sick and clearly needs help, but Charmander refuses to move from this rock, let alone getting caught. After multiple unsuccessful attempts,
Loyal.
the Charmander's life, Pikachu comes over and lets the gang know that Charmander says that it actually has an owner and it's waiting for him to return. Skeptical, the gang stays over at a local place to keep watch at Charmander, waiting for its owner to return. When the gang pulls up at this spot, they meet Damien. They overhear him talking about how he abandoned a Charmander because he was too weak. And this is just crazy to me, because imagine in real life if you pull up to a hotel and a group of people are flexing that they beat and abandoned their dog, with Ash and Brock being—
To be fair, he didn't say he beat him. But yeah, no, I feel you.
only two sensible people in the room. Brock goes up to Damien and presses him. Brock tells Damien he should
Brock about that life, man. Brock was trying to get action.
go back and get his Pokemon because he's going to die since it's raining outside, and when Charmanders lose the fire on their tail, they die. Damien just doesn't seem to care, so Ash—
Okay, here's something I never got about that, okay? I know Charmanders if they lose the fire, they die, right? But how many times has a Charmander fought like, or a Charizard for that matter, or whatever, fought like a Blastoise? You know what I'm saying? Fought all these water Pokemon and that mug ain't die. Like, it might got knocked out, but it didn't. You know what I'm saying?
and Misty go out and rescue Charmander. When they finally find Charmander, they find that he's getting beaten to death by an army of sparrows. Pikachu uses Thunder Shock on the sparrows, and they wrap Charmander in a blanket.
Man, he was Thunder Shock on them, and they was wet. That's a double whammy.
Preserve the fire on his tail so he doesn't die. Charmander is holding on to his life.
Wait, how'd that work? How they wrap a... Hold on, did I hear that right?
A blanket to preserve the fire on his tail so he doesn't die. Charmander...
How they wrap a fire in a blanket? This stuff we didn't even think about as kids, but how you wrapping a fire in a blanket? Make it make sense.
Holding on to his life. They managed to...
The science ain't science, and...
Charmander to nurse Joy, and she heals him right up. But later that night, Charmander escapes because he is shocked that Damien actually abandoned him.
Hard-headed, bro. He ain't coming back.
Charmander unfortunately develops Stockholm Syndrome, where despite the abuse Damien has done towards him, he still wants to go back to Damien since it feels like home. And to be honest, Damien is a straight bum. To hurt such a powerful and loyal Pokemon like this, especially in the Kanto region, Damien definitely fumbled for whatever trash he has on his team. While Charmander was roaming around, he encounters Team Rocket, which is just captured.
What Pokemon you got in them Pokeballs is better than a Charmander? Like, come on now, be for real.
Charmander uses Flamethrower to defeat Team Rocket and free up Pikachu, repaying his debt to Ash. And this bum Damien was lurking around the corner, saw how powerful Charmander really is, and switched up.
Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot, they all on me. Oh, Andy hot too?
He wanted to get Charmander back on his team. Damien started gaslighting Charmander into believing that he was searching for Charmander.
You should never gaslight a fire Pokemon. It's gonna explode in your face. Boom. Look at me.
The entire time, and that he was coming back. Charmander is sick of the lies and refuses to join Damien's team. Damien gets salty and cusses out Charmander by telling him that he was never coming back for him and that he's weak and worthless. Charmander gets his get back by hitting Damien with a flamethrower and joining Ash's team in the end, since Ash was the only nice trainer to him. And
that boy got hit with a flamethrower and an electric shock. Man, that's crazy.
End of that story, right? Ash saves Charmander from his abusive trainer. Charmander joins Ash's team. They get along, are loyal, and become the best of friends and a star Pokemon of Ash's team. But not all stories have the best endings. While Charmander was traveling along Ash's team, he was actually pretty grateful to be on the squad and helped Ash a lot and listened like all the other Pokemon.
But when he turned to Charmeleon, man, that's when he hit that rebellious teenager phase.
They even had a really wholesome moment where Ash was stranded in a cave due to a blizzard, and Charmander saved him and all the other Pokemon's lives by keeping them warm because of the fire on his tail. Ever since then, Charmander seriously became Ash's #1 Pokemon. He consistently used them throughout every episode, defeating tons of Pokemon he seriously shouldn't have beaten, like this Golem, and he was seriously getting way ahead of level compared to all of Ash's Pokemon. Charmander could honestly 1v5 them. Because of Charmander's proficient dominance on Ash's team, there's an episode where they go to a city with a bunch of Executors. Charmander uses Flamethrower and defeats a bunch of Executors, giving him a lot of...
Yo, that's crazy. He just set it in hair on fire. He got them mothers looking like Michael Jackson in the Pepsi commercial.
Which caused him to evolve into Charmeleon. At first, this would be seen as a good thing since Pokemon evolving is always good, right? But the once innocent, loyal, and strong Charmander we once knew was now gone, since Charmeleon didn't care about Ash anymore. This was the start of his downfall. If you've only watched the Pokemon anime, you may have been confused on why Ash's Charmeleon didn't want to listen to him anymore after evolving. But if you played the Pokemon games, you may know this feeling all too well. In the Pokemon games, there's a mechanic where the number of gym badges you have as a trainer directly correlates to how strong of a Pokemon you can use.
Yeah, that be sucking. Like, especially I don't know if y'all ever played Poke MMO. I'm gonna do a video on it one day when my ADHD ain't forbidding me. Yeah, man, like you'll level up these Pokemon and then go to a different region, and now you don't have any badges and the Pokemon don't want to listen to you, man. It's trash.
To prevent new trainers from using...
Man, speaking of Charmeleon and Poke MMO, my starter was a Charmander, and like I was like just like grinding on the game and like cleaning. I would grind, go clean my office or whatever. I came back and it evolved into a Charmeleon. Like I straight missed it. I was so sad. I was like, yo, this low key, like I missed my kid's first steps, even though like way less important than that.
Super high level Pokemon they really should have access to, and that's basically what happened to Ash. Charmeleon redeemed Ash unworthy of his power and just stopped listening to him. In Charmeleon's eyes, things are gonna work on his term and his terms only, and he doesn't really care what Ash has to say. Charmeleon's rebellious phase was getting out of control, and Ash came to realize this. Along their journey, Ash wanted to help another trainer getting out of control.
Yo, pardon my Pokemon ignorance. Cartoon ignorance. I haven't seen every single iteration of Pokemon. What am I looking at right now? Because this is not the animation from the original series. This is like really good animation right here.
And he doesn't really care what Ash
What is
has to
this?
say. Charmeleon's rebellious phase was getting out of control, and
That's not the Pokemon movie, is it? What am I looking at? Please tell me in the comments what I'm looking at and where I can stream it from.
came to realize this. Along their journey, Ash wanted to help another trainer evolve their Paris, and he sent out Charmeleon to have a friendly battle. Keyword friendly. Charmeleon just didn't care at all and wanted all the smoke and completely went overboard with this Paris. After that mishap, Charmeleon shot his fire at Ash. It got so bad, Ash had to send out Pikachu to deal with Charmeleon to prove that he's not that guy. Ash was pretty sad about this, since his once beloved Charmander that was once a staple on his team is such a bratty Charmeleon that wouldn't even listen to a single instruction. Ash decided to give Charmeleon one last chance against
Charmeleon looked like he would be rebellious, like just how they designed him.
to help him evolve, and when he sent out Charmeleon, he went even crazier, and if he did not bump into Paris's poison needle, that Paris would have been dead. After that, Ash had to decide to make Charmeleon take a bit of a backseat for now and let him chill off and figure out what's actually going on with this
He need to put that mug in the nursery.
and that was it.
He need to put that mug in computer box 1. you know that's where you just put the Pokemon and forget about them. And then you got all of these Pokemon just sitting in boxes that you forgot about. That's where that Charmeleon need to go.
Charmeleon. Ash made the smart decision to not bring out Charmeleon for a very long time, and the only time Charmeleon saw the light of day is when Ash was in a life or death situation and had to bring out one of his final Pokemon, Charmeleon. Ash was being chased by fossil Pokemon that wanted to kill him, and when Charmeleon finally came out, he just looked there smug. He didn't care about Ash's life, he didn't care about the situation, and he low-key just wanted to sleep. One of the fossil Pokemon, Aerodactyl, was a menace and kidnapped Ash and Pikachu and swatted Charmeleon on the way out. This hurt Charmeleon's ego so bad it challenged Aerodactyl to a 1v1. Aerodactyl didn't really view Charmeleon as anything and just emoted on him again, and this pissed off Charmeleon a lot, evolving him into the Charizard we know today. And this Charizard was...
That's crazy. He straight evolved from pride. He didn't evolve from battling or anything like that. That's crazy.
beast. It was so powerful it was able to defeat Aerodactyl and even save Ash. For a moment, Ash thought that everything was back to normal. Its Charizard saved him from the bottom of his heart because its trainer was in trouble, but in reality, Charizard only evolved because its ego got hurt, not because Ash got kidnapped. So nothing really changed with Ash and Charizard's dynamic. Charizard was still at the back of Ash's team as his wild card and not the forefront that he used to be, but this all changed when Ash went to the 7th gym leader. Ash challenged Blaine, the 7th gym leader, to a Pokemon battle, and he sent out his Charizard, a risky move, and Charizard just chilled on the side and he didn't care, up until he saw Blaine's Magmar. This Magmar stopped the Volcano Crisis, gaining the respect of Charizard, and Charizard challenged him to a 1v1, considering Magmar his first worthy opponent. In this fight, we saw the true power of Charizard. Him and Magmar went head to head, even fighting in lava, and Charizard revealed his signature move, Seismic Toss, ending the battle and proving that he is the strongest fire Pokemon on Blaine's Island. It was nice for Charizard to finally deem someone a worthy opponent and show us how powerful he truly is. To be honest, Charizard must be like level 60 while everyone else is level 40. Ash was then appointed the Fire Gym Badge by Blaine. Finally, maybe something that would be able to prove his worth to Charizard. But even after Ash getting this badge, Charizard did not respect him at all, and it was back to the same old, Charizard,
Man, he need to give him back to that dude who left him on a rock.
could not get over the fact that this 10-year-old kid could improve, and he will always view Ash lower than him. Now, every side
He probably definitely didn't respect him after you saw for years and years and years this dude was still 10.
two stories, and we never actually looked at it from Charizard's perspective. How did Charizard develop this ideology? It's simply because of the trauma he got from his old trainer. Charizard got abandoned because he was considered weak and not good enough, and now that he finally has the power and is strong and can body practically anybody, he's scared that if he becomes complacent and listens to a trainer like Ash, it'll end up making him weak and he'll get abandoned all over again, repeating the cycle. So we didn't see Charizard for a while, and the only other Pokemon we've ever seen Ash's Charizard fight after that point was Mewtwo and his clone Pokemon, where Mewtwo is obviously the strongest Pokemon in that region, and Charizard had to challenge himself in the Pokemon movie against Mewtwo and the Charizard clone. In this Pokemon movie, if you didn't know, Ash actually died and got turned to stone, and Charizard and the rest of the Pokemon cried, and this is very monumental to Charizard's character, since this is the first time we've seen him show genuine affection towards Ash since him losing.
I ain't gonna hold you. I was a little kid when I saw this movie. I saw it in the theater. I think I cried. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like 10. Get off my back. Golly. Shoot, I probably crossed today. I ain't gonna lie.
Life is pretty sad. But Ash came back to life and Charizard went back to being his old self. But this brings us to the height of Charizard's career. The Indigo League, a tournament where trainers around the region come together and fight to have a chance to verse the Elite Four and proving who's the best of the best in the Kanto region. This is a big moment in Ash's career and an even bigger moment for Charizard since he only wants to verse strong Pokemon, so only strong Pokemon should be here, right? The Indigo League had over 200 participants and Ash brought along Pikachu, Pidgeotto, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Krabby, and Charizard as
he brought in, hold on.
Along Pikachu, Pidgeotto.
Okay, so let's dissect these Pokemon. Okay, Pikachu, we already know how he get down, okay? And we already know that low-key, this Pikachu could be a Raichu if he really wanted to be, right? Pidgeotto, okay, Pidgeotto's dope. He has one evolved Pokemon out of all of these. One evolved Pokemon, which leads me to wonder how good of a trainer is Ash, right? Like, I know he loves his Pokemon, and as a kid, I was like, yo, these are the top. Like, when I play the game, or when I play like Pokemon Blue or whatever, I'm like, yo, this is like the elite team. But I feel like it's just because Ash had these, right? Like, of course, Bulbasaur is dope, Charmander's dope, Squirtle's dope, Pikachu's dope. But like Butterfree, I mean, yeah, if you want to put your enemy to sleep, you know what I'm saying? Pidgeotto, you know, they cool, but in this roster, when you just look at it, it's iconic. It is very iconic, right? But like, how come none of these Pokemon are evolved? Like, I mean, Charmander, obviously we already know Charmander is evolved because the whole thing is about Charizard, right? Let me hear again. Maybe I'm tripping. Hold on.
Right? The Indigo League had over 200 participants, and Ash brought along Pikachu, Pidgeotto, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Krabby, and Charizard.
Krabby? He brought Krabby? I ain't even gonna say no more.
6 Pokemon on his team. And Ash took this tournament.
Krabby? This dude. I feel like I could beat Ash in a Pokemon battle.
Super seriously, making it out of the top 200, being one of the finalists in the top 16. And throughout all the battles leading up to this, he didn't use his Charizard once. He knew he was a wild card and wanted to play it safe by using his loyal and reliable Pokemon, which may have been his downfall. For this top 16 round, Ash is going up against a kid named Richie, and they're down to their final Pokemon. Ash only has Charizard left, while Richie has Charmander and Pikachu. And to be honest, how did this kid even make it to the top 16 with his weak team? But I'll digress.
That's how I feel about Ash.
Ash takes the risk and sends out his Charizard in front of thousands of people at the live tournament event. And Charizard listened to Ash. He actually defeated Richie's Charmander with ease, since Charizard is way stronger than Richie's entire team. But then Richie sends
Charizard standing there looking all proud. Look at this.
Charmander with ease, since Charizard is way stronger.
Man, don't sit there looking like you did something when you've been MIA the last 30 episodes. Man, get out of here, man. He better put him right back in that Pokeball after this.
Richie's entire team. But then Richie sends out his star Pokemon, Pikachu or Zippy.
Hey, his Pikachu got a little haircut. Okay, Pikachu, I see you.
Charizard was far from impressed from his matchup. He has the power to beat this Pikachu, but he's just disappointed that this is what everything was leading up to, him versing a couple first and second stage level Pokemon, rather than him fighting strong Pokemon like the Magmar he met back at Blaine's Island. So instead of Charizard swiftly taking care of this Pikachu so they can fight stronger trainers the farther they go up in the tournament, he chooses the nuclear option. Charizard throws it all away at the height of his career and refuses to battle. Charizard's actions resulted in Ash getting eliminated from the Indigo League, the thing that they were working up for so long, all over his pride.
Oh my gosh, that Pokemon would be going right back to that rock. Let me know in the comments if that was your Charizard, if you'd be going back to that rock.
That's where the story would have been.
But then, I don't know, because Charizard can't fly. So what if you trying to escape from leaving him on the rock? You realizing he like flying above you, above the trees, and he finds you. He just like flamethrowers you, man. I don't know. Maybe I might have to keep him around just for that.
For most trainers, including myself, if I got that amount of disrespect in front of a tournament, that lizard is off my team.
Yeah,
but
that's
not where it ended for Ash. Ash still had a little bit of hope in Charizard and kept him on his team. He didn't treat him any differently. He was patient with him and worked with him. In the Orange Islands the next season after the Indigo League, there was a glimmer of hope for Charizard. Ash was versing a pretty strong Poliwrath and sends out Charizard, but Charizard doesn't want to listen until Charizard gets one up by the Poliwrath, getting frozen and defeated.
Good.
This is one of the first times Charizard's felt true defeat. He lost a fight because of his own incompetence, even though Ash trusted him. But Ash didn't dwell on Charizard's loss at all. He was actually more concerned about Charizard's health, since he took on a full Ice Beam from the Poliwrath and is potentially dangerous for Charizard. Ash stayed up all night healing Charizard, being with him and keeping him warm, and Charizard realized that Ash
is a good Pokemon trainer for the fact that he loves his Pokemon so much, you know? But he don't focus on training them enough. I didn't really see Ash grinding for real. You know what I'm saying? Like if you a Pokemon trainer, he wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. But he don't grind. You know what I mean? Where's your like heavy grinding? I'm like grinding my Pokemon as I'm like cleaning my house. What is this dude doing? He always like getting distracted by like Team Rocket and all of these side quests, you know, helping Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny and stuff. Dog, focus on the mission.
Did care for him, and Ash wanted the best for him and didn't care if he won or lost. So since Charizard finally saw the good in Ash, he threw away his abusive past with Damien and looked forward towards the future with Ash. And when they teamed up, they were stronger than ever. The next day, when they were working together, they bodied the Poliwrath, and Charizard finally swore his allegiance.
Yo, this animation like changed like all of a sudden, like from the next day. It went from like 1980s animation to like 2030 animation. What the heck?
Ash as his loyal Pokemon, and they were unstoppable. Charizard was the Luka Doncic of the Pokemon League. This guy was unstoppable ever since they teamed up, and they even won the Orange Islands together.
And then it went back to the old animation. What is going on here? I'm so confused.
Things were finally looking consistently up for this lizard. No one was really a challenge for Ash and Charizard, and they even went to the Johto region, and that was even easier for Charizard. He had basically no threats throughout the Johto region at all. Word was spreading around fast that Ash was a trainer that was able to tame this powerful Charizard, that they got invited to the Charcific Valley, and everything changed from that point. The Charcific Valley is a place where only the best Charizards live. They eat, sleep, fight alongside each other to only improve as a Charizard. Liza is a leader of this valley, and she wanted to test Ash's Charizard skills to see where he compares with the rest of the Charizards. And Ash's Charizard was the weakest in the room. Seriously, there was not—
Yo. 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 Charizard looked like me on 2 minutes on a treadmill. Look at this. Look at this.
Liza is the leader of this valley, and she wanted to test Ash's Charizard skills to see where he compares with the rest of the Charizards. And Ash's Charizard was the weakest in the room. Seriously, there was not one Charizard that he was stronger than in that valley. They even wanted to test Ash's skills as a trainer to see if he knew how to fly with Charizard, and they were incapable of even flying together.
Oh my
Charizard
gosh.
was just a stroke of dumb luck, fighting low elo people, and when he finally got to the big leagues, it showed that he wasn't as good as he really thought he was. Once Liza saw Ash's Charizard's performance, she actually banished him from the kingdom, since she did not think he was worthy at all from training there or even being around these Charizards. Charizard spent that entire night reflecting in the water on how to improve and become a better Pokemon. Even Team Rocket felt bad for Charizard getting outcasted by his own people, that they helped Charizard get back into the Charcific Valley by
Team Rocket low-key be some of the nicest bad guys ever.
a Team Rocket attack and making Charizard be painted as the hero that saved everyone. Because of all of this, Charizard got invited to stay at the Charcific Valley to train and become as strong as possible. And with new opportunities presented with Charizard, that just means some doors have to close. And unfortunately, the door that has to close is Ash traveling with Charizard. Charizard was pretty down with just denying the offer and still traveling with Ash, but Ash knew what's best for Charizard is to stay with Charizard to get stronger and to be the best that he could possibly be. Charizard was pretty shocked by Ash's response, since he didn't think Ash would want him to go stay with these Charizards, but Ash knew it was for the greater good and left in tears, leaving Charizard behind at the Charcific Valley, promising to meet again as friends. And Ash went on to travel a bunch.
Dang, yo. And I know Charizard probably felt like, see, this is exactly why I didn't want to get good with you. I knew you was gonna abandon me, just like Damien.
Regions and periodically meeting Charizard.
I know they left him on different terms, obviously, but Charizard had to be thinking about that.
The wave with little cameos and even in Pokemon Journeys reuniting with their original gang again for old time's sakes. This story shows how Charizard was able to overcome his emotional abuse from Damien.
Yo, that was a good video. Make sure that you go check out Thunder Zolt. Shout outs to him. There's a very comprehensive breakdown of Charizard, one of my favorite Pokemon, and I know one of y'all's favorite Pokemon. You feel me? Well, I appreciate y'all watching. God bless. Salutations to the nations. Please make sure that you subscribe. I am having a contest to win my old Trim UI brick, and I'm on my journey to 1,000 subs. You feel me? You can see how to win that Trim UI brick in the post in the community. It'll give the guidelines. So I appreciate y'all. God bless and salutations to the nations. Peace.
Angel Knot.